Alright, so we're going to be talking about Yelan today. Now, Yelan is probably the most anticipated unit to come out in the half patch that we're coming out with, which is Hu-Tao and Yelan. This is going to be Yelan's very first rerun banner, so a lot of people are very excited to get her after all the hype, after all the craziness there has been with, Yelan as a character. She's absolutely amazing. I say almost must-have pick because, of course, you don't know everyone's situation, you don't know everyone's account, but I would say she's probably up there among the first or second best character in the game, in my honest opinion, due to the fact that how universal or how amazing she is, how you can put her on almost every team, how she's amazing in the overworld exploration. We're gonna get into that very quick in her Yelan's dummy guide. Now, the thing about Yelan is that she's a very super simple character, so explaining her isn't gonna take a lot. But there's one thing we gotta preface before we start this. When you're looking at Yelan, you're not going to be grinding out anything regarding attack based. You're going to be grinding everything regarding HP, because every single one of her skills, from her normal charge shots, let's preface this, her charge shots, her skill, and her ult all need HP. None of them need attack. The only thing that needs attack is her normal swing, but we're not going to be talking about that because it is not needed. Her normal attack does look amazing. Other than that, there's nothing else to it, and man, that ending animation, sheesh. But the only thing that does matter from the normal attack, and the only reason you would level up the normal attack when we're talking about the talents, is her charge attack. Now, her charge attack has this blue bracelet that's on her right arm. When it lights up, you're able to have a level 2 charge attack instantly once you ready up your bow, and when you shoot it, it's a big AoE splash. Now, the thing about this bracelet is it regenerates when you're out of combat. So whenever you're out of combat, you're able to use this like almost infinitely, kind of, after a couple of seconds. But while you are in combat, you are not going to be able to do this regeneration or have this bracelet light up after you use it the first time. The only way you get the bracelet back during combat is if you use your skill and it hits an enemy, and you have a chance of getting it back. If you have C1 Yelan, it's super easy to get back. You use your skill twice, and then you'll end up getting the bracelet most likely more than not. Now, that's pretty much it for her normal attack. You would only level it up for the charge shot, which has a pretty big range for hydro damage, and it does a good amount as well if you build her for some good DPS. But other than that, let's get straight into the meat of her kit, which is her skill and her ult. Now, for Yelan's skill, it's probably one of the better skills in the game, and I say this because let's waste some stamina real quick. Of course, you're like running around, exploring, different areas, and guess what? We're at half stamina. We use Yelan's skill, and guess what? Her skill comes back, and you're able to run again, and you're running again, and you're running again. Her skill comes back up, and then you're regaining stamina. So you're gonna be able to run almost infinitely with Yelan's skill, coupled by stamina regenerating. It's absolutely amazing. You can of course round up as many enemies as you possibly like. Let's use these Hilichurls for an example. Hopefully I get close enough. Oh, I did not get close enough. All right, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and it hits all of them. And it hit them for a good amount. Same thing with the charge attack, it hits for a good amount. So yeah, these, I guess you could say, skills, it's really good. Takes a minute, of course, to wrap everyone up, but you will be able to hit them all, and it will hit all of them at the same time. Another thing that's a good fun fact to know about her skill is that when you use her skill and you run to a certain area, say you wrap enemies around this way and you go this way, they will all fly towards you. So wherever you're at the end of the skill, they're going to fly very slightly towards your direction. Now, it's not going to bring them all the way to where you're at, but it will fling them a little bit closer into your direction. So it helps a little bit with grouping if you're able to do that. But that's pretty much it for her skill. Really nice to have in the overall, because you're going to be running so fast, you're regenerating stamina, and then while it's on cooldown, you're just running again and waiting for it to come back on cooldown. It's absolutely amazing. So her skill, the main facts of it, you get your bracelet back, and you're able to use this charge attack when you're in combat. That's the only way to regenerate it, and you get a slight chance of getting it back. Her skill helps her in the overworld, and her skill rounds up enemies, an infinite amount of enemies if I'm not wrong, and you can bring them closer to you by not a large amount. It's a very small amount that they fling towards you, but it does help with grouping in some situations. So those are the main things with her E. Very simple and easy to understand. Another thing with Yelan is her ults. Now, her ult is a very big important part of her kit. Her ult is just like Xingqiu's, where you have the arrows or the swords come down after you do normal attacks with characters, and this works with anybody going from Hu-Tao to her charge attacks, right into her you know, her ult, slashing, all that type of stuff is affected and it will be used for Yelan. So that's why Yelan's such a great character. She's able to do these things and have the great amounts of hydro application, hit for a crazy amount of numbers, because they're all hitting for maybe like 10k 9k each arrow, and there's 3 of them. Yeah, that's kind of crazy that Yelan can do all of that. So other than that, that's pretty much it for Yelan's kit. There's not really a lot to explain. If you really understand Xingqiu, then you're pretty much going to understand Yelan. So yeah, there's not a crazy amount there to discuss. But the main thing we need to talk about is her, you know, kit. Not her kit, but her weapons, her artifacts, her constellations, and then there's a quick overview of her talents once again. For Yelan's weapon, of course, the Aqua Simulacra is going to be her #1 choice. This is because not only is it a crit damage buff, you also get HP back for it, and you also get damage dealt buff when you're on the field or off the field. So this is an amazing weapon. And the one thing about Yelan is that she can use almost any weapon. She has a lot of different options to use when you're using Yelan. Such like the Aqua Simulacra, you're able to use the Veridescent Hunt, you're able to use the Stringless. This is a big option for free-to-play players, or players that are able to have this because of the Elemental Mastery is good to have when you're dealing with Pyro. And you're also getting Elemental Skill, Elemental Burst damage up by a certain amount depending on your refinement. Other than the Stringless, you can use a Sacrificial Bow. It helps with the energy recharge, and it also helps with getting that skill again. So once you hit an enemy with it, you have a high chance of being able to get it again. Has more particles, makes it a lot easier to get your ult back. It's super good to have on Yelan because of the energy recharge, because of the elemental skill refund. So it's really nice to have. Another weapon that you can use on Yelan, the Favonius Warbow, another weapon that helps with energy recharge and also helps with, you know, regenerating particles so that you're able to get your ult up and, you know, maybe even help with the team. Now there's another weapon that a lot of people might not have, which is the Fading Twilight. This came from the Enkanomiya centered event, was a free weapon to get. It has energy recharge, and whether you're on or off the field after your attacks hit enemies, you will end up getting damage dealt buffs by a certain percent once you know, get to that state. There's 3 states, and it goes by 12%, 20%, and 28%. So if you have this bow, this might be her best free-to-play option in my opinion. So other than that, yeah, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of different bows that you can use for Yelan, and that's really good. Now there's one bow that you can get that's her best in slots if you don't have any of them and you want to DPS Yelan. If you go to Inazuma and you go to Retail by the docks, there is a soldier showing and, you know, basically just standing there. He's going to be giving you a bow for free. So if you talk to this dude right here, and I think I've already gotten the bow if I'm not wrong, but if you talk to this guy right here, oh, there you go. So you pick the first chat option, you just picked up but I can't stop here, and then guess what, you're gonna get a bow which is going to be Yelan's best bow when it comes to her DPS if you don't have any of the other bows that I already said, which is the recurve bow. Now this recurve bow is a HP main stat. Will I find it? It might be hard. No, it's right here. There you go. The recurve bow, high HP main stat, and you're going to be getting a bunch of damage from it. Remember, Yelan does not skill off of attack, so this doesn't really matter. You're going to be getting HP main stat, and it's going to hit her for a lot more. So if you don't have this bow already, make sure to get it from this dude, because guess what? You're going to be hitting harder with your Yelan if you don't have any of the bow options above. So guess what? Free to play a weapon acquired for Yelan. Now talking about her artifacts, you can go 2 different ways. I prefer Emblem of Severed Fate, and the reason why I want Emblem of Severed Fate for Yelan is because I do genuinely want her burst to come up more frequently, and I want her burst to hit hard. So having that energy recharge and having that burst damage modifier from the Emblem of Severed Fate is going to help her do both of those things. Now for, of course, Yelan, you're going to want to carry as much crit damage and crit rate that you can, of course, so you can get some damage in. You want to also get HP percent if you're able to, which is probably a little bit higher than the crit rate, crit damage, because this is what she's going to be scaling off of. The Elemental Mastery does help when it comes to stuff like, you know, adding Pyro and using her skill, which is going to hit for stuff like 70, 60, 80k, so you can expect some high numbers there. But mainly you want to look for HP substats, crit rate, crit damage substats, and especially energy recharge substats, because you want to get your burst up very frequently, up 24/7 basically. For Sands, we are going to be wanting an HP Sands because it's going to affect her a lot more than something like attack. You can run energy recharge if you really need the extra recharge to get her ult up. It's something that you can make sure that her ult's up. So if her ult's up pretty frequently, then go for the HP Sands. If you still have trouble getting your ult back on cooldown, then you might want to run energy recharge sands. A goblet, of course, hydro damage bonus with as much HP as you possibly can, crit rate, crit damage, all that type of stuff, and then another crit rate, crit damage circlet, you know, to balance out your stats. So that's pretty much it. Other than Emblem of Severed Fate, you can use Heart of Death with any piece that gives you HP. I forgot what the actual... Oh, it's Tenacity, Millilith, and Heart of Death. That is possible as well if you don't have a good Emblem of Severed Fate set, so that works as well. For Yelan, her constellations are absolutely amazing. I do have a video talking about her C1 versus her Aqua Simulacra. If you want to watch it, it's going to be in the corner in the top right. But her constellations are absolutely busted. For those who are willing to spend the money, Yelan is 100% worth it in my honest opinion when it comes to constellations, especially her C1 because she gets an extra E. Now with that extra E, you're able to get higher recharge basically just by having this. You get to have less recharge and a higher crit rate, crit damage substats because you're going to be focusing on them because you're not going to need as much recharge when you have this. You're going to be generating more particles more frequently. You're basically going to have infinite stamina in the overworld when you're running around using this because you will be able to have 2 E's on cooldown instead of just 1. It's absolutely amazing C1 what it has to offer. C2 has an additional dice or arrow when you use your ult. So instead of it being 3, it's going to end up being 4. And this 4th one scales off of Yelan's max HP by 14%. 3 of course and 5 are, you know, the ult and the skill buffs. For Constellation 4, this is going to help out Yelan as well because you're able to increase everyone's max HP by 10% for 25 seconds when you use your skill. This can help, you know, Yelan herself get more damage in. This can help, you know, people like Hu Tao and shielders get their shields up, or Hu Tao get more damage in. So yeah, C4 can be a big buff to the right characters. And then C6, basically, you know, those charge attacks that we were talking about earlier, her normal attacks become charge attacks basically. So you get to spam a butt ton of them. They do an absolutely nasty amount of damage. You have no idea. So yeah, her constellations are all pretty good in all honesty. And of course, when we talk about her talents, her skill and her E are going to be the most important things to level up, and then her normal attack if you want to, because that is just the charge attack you're basically leveling it up for. If we had to pick between the E and the ult, I would say do the ult first and then the E, because the ult is basically what makes Yelan so valuable. The hydro application is very much needed, and if it hits hard, it's going to be amazing. Other than that, the skill is really good to have too, because it does hit for a good amount, especially when there's pyro on the field. Dear Lord, does Yelan hit hard. And then, like I said, if you want, the normal attack is just a charge shot. It's going to help a lot. Get that, you know, quick little extra DPS in, but not really important. So that's pretty much it for Yelan. She doesn't really have any crazy teams because guess what? She works on a lot of them. Stuff like Hu Tao, Double Hydro Geo works really good. Yelan works with pretty much any character, you know, with Yoyamiya as well. Raiden National. I don't have everybody, you know, all my teams, you know, fixed up right now, but Raiden National, I'll hate them with Kuki, Yelan, Nahida. Yelan is basically where Xingqiu would go in many teams. That's basically pretty much it. Yelan works on so many different teams, so you know there's endless amount of possibilities that you can do with her. So pretty much her teams aren't very much specified. She doesn't have a best team because she does bring the team together. One thing to talk about when using Yelan, in her talents, she has passives that are really useful as well. Depending on how many different elements you have in your team, Yelan's max HP can increase by a certain amount. So this is really good to know when you're building your Yelan. And then also when you use your ult, you're going to be getting a damage buff that increases for 3 point. Okay, starts at 1%, you get a damage buff, and then it goes up 3.5% for every second, up to 50% damage dealt boost. So yeah, you're going to get buffed just for having Yelan's ult on the field, which is absolutely insane. She's just an amazing character. Overall, perfect character. If you have the Primo Gems to go for her, go ahead. She is 1000% worth it. But that's pretty much the Yelan dummy guide. There isn't really a crap ton to say, but you know, just good luck for everyone. Hopefully I'll get Yelan if you wanted her. Other than that, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.